Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Not Content Podcast. My name is Jerome Cuson, joined as always by Brian. This week, we are going to be continuing our remembrances of those who left us in the year 2016. We are going to be discussing Prince's first movie. He didn't direct it, but this really is his first movie, that being Purple Rain. Please leave a 4 or 5 star review on Spotify and Apple to get those algorithms going. Please like and subscribe to us on YouTube. Click the bell icon for notifications. As I mentioned, we will be discussing Purple Rain here tonight, a movie that is a tale of two movies, quite frankly. It has an incredible soundtrack. It also is a really bad movie. How do those two things mesh? Well, that's what our conversation is pretty much going to be focused on. Also, want to point out, Brian, that Prince and I share a birthday, June 7th, and Prince won his Academy Award the year I was born. So Prince and I have an
Yeah, and
unusual
we
amount of
also kind of
connections.
missed the date.
It's
We're
fine,
recording
but I
this.
also I also want to point out that Prince was the halftime performer when the Bears made the Super Bowl in 2007, a Super Bowl that I have never watched again and will never talk about.
Oh yeah, we don't want to talk about that one. That was a sad day for Jerome. But yeah, it's just so weird that like we timed this month specifically for like the Remembrance Month for like 2016, and Jerome somehow got his birthday date again to coordinate with the show. So 2 years in a row, I think we've done this. So
I'm
yeah,
really good at this. What can
yeah,
I say? I am a
yeah.
master of cakes.
And we almost recorded it on your birthday, and you sent me that awesome picture of your cake. That was really cool. But
It was a great cake.
we both
It
ended
was
up
a
watching
delicious
it
cake
on
too.
on the day after for you today. I was last night I watched it, but I just couldn't help but think like this is a way to celebrate Jerome's birthday. Me watching Purple Rain late night. But
I
hey,
mean, here's the thing. I would love to be the person that could go up on stage and just rip off banger after banger. I don't want to be the person that either beats the shit out of a woman, almost abandons a woman who can't swim in the water, or potentially shoots their husband. I am none of those things.
for the record, she didn't shoot her husband. Did you miss that one line? The one line said it was a suicide attempt, dude? Did you miss that from like
All
the
right, it's a
third, fourth
suicide attempt.
time?
I'm sorry. Yeah.
So because the first two times I've watched this movie, I interpreted it as like she shot him, like straight up, which is deserving, kind of. But
I
no, it's
mean,
a suicide attempt,
he's
which is
clearly
even
not in a good
deeper.
place. So with
It's
how
even weird.
biographical this movie is, man, I have so many questions that will never be answered because, of course,
It's the
Prince
Eight
is no
Mile
longer.
effect. Yeah, it's the 8 Mile effect, dude. It's like,
This I Here's the thing. I think this movie walked so that 8 Mile could run. I don't know that 8 Mile is necessarily the soundtrack isn't necessarily as good, although Lose Yourself is a great song, but I will say that that movie is much better.
oh yeah, much more structured. Let's just lay our cards out on the table, okay? The script is a garbage script because there's no arc for any of the character. Okay, maybe Prince's arc is there.
I mean,
Uh,
Prince's arc is there. Like he is essentially in competition with Morris Day and the time.
we'll
And
get to that because there's a lot of
yeah,
weird details that just make no sense.
correct.
I assume it's in LA because there's a lot of exteriors in LA, and I think they used the bridge shot from Lucha Underground, that famous bridge that I've been to. I forget the name, but you know what I'm talking about, right? That famous LA bridge that's like in a lot of like LA noir stuff. I gotta forget the name, and I live here, but yeah, I just passed by it like 2 weeks ago. And so you got that going on, and I guess the club owners like we can only have 3 acts. We can't have four for some reason. They never give a reason as to why we have to get rid of one of the acts. And so Morris Day creates this act with Apollonia, and I was pointing this out to Jerome, but they're called the Apollonia Six, and there's only three of them, and it's like they kind of took over Vanity Six, the previous person in Prince's life that was in this kind of role that Apollonia is in real life, and she went on to do other things, but unfortunately she passed away. But she was in The Last Dragon, which I've seen, and she was like singing in that one too. So there's just weird connections to other artists that are actually in real life going on, and of course you got Morris Day doing the real. I don't know if he's in real competition with Prince in real life, but it feels like they got this competition within the movie, right? And it's kind of
Hmm.
pushing them. And then of course you got this like I don't know, this thing about him not willing to write other people's songs. And I don't know if it's just because they're women in his band and he's like so reluctant to write or sing a woman's song, and or he just wants to write his own songs. I'm not sure on that, but That's probably the more fascinating
Maybe
part of this
both.
movie. Maybe both, but it is the more fascinating part of this movie because it's like I love like slowly piecing the pieces together. This was the parts I like about Bohemian Rhapsody, where he was slowly putting the pieces together for the song Bohemian Rhapsody. And I know Jerome doesn't really like that movie, but that scene really, like, I love the storytelling of writing songs and how songs come about. And so they kind of layer like the tracks for Purple Rain in this background demo tape, and then he's playing it, and he rejects it at first, but he can't help but love the beat, and the audience can't help but love the beat as well. And with the tragedy going on in his background, and once the tragedy happens with his dad towards the end of the movie, he pieces together the lyrics for Purple Rain and writes the song. That, to me, that's the
So
main
the
thing.
implication is that his father is very disheartened by the fact that he was never able to have a musical career and is taking it on his wife and is being incredibly abusive. And there comes a point when the kid, that's what Prince's character is called, the kid, he even like at one point slaps Apollonia. So it's definitely one of those intergenerational trauma things going on. It's very awkwardly done. Like they don't really make the connection. I mean, part of the problem is, I mean, Prince is an incredible performer. He's incredibly charismatic. That is literally what is carrying this movie because his acting is not good. I mean, I can't help but think, whenever you have somebody who's very charismatic, I think of Prince, and only for the purposes of their acting, I think of Hulk Hogan. Like you have these two incredibly charismatic people, but the moment that you take away like who they are, like when he's not Hulk Hogan or when he's not Prince, like something is lost. The difference is the Purple Rain. Prince is able to channel his charisma through the music, and that's why Purple Rain is better than any movie that Hulk Hogan has done because the music is able to kind of carry the load, whereas Hulk Hogan wrestling is not going to be able to carry a movie.
It's a hell of an argument. No Holds Barred versus Purple Rain, man. That's a hell of an argument to bring up on a social media platform and see what happens and get some weird reactions to that one because
I
that's
mean, like the thing
I
is
get
that
you, dude.
you don't
I
have
get
a
you. I think
cocaine
Purple
fueled
Rain is better too.
fans.
I think Purple Rain is better too, even though the script is probably worse. But the
I mean,
music is just
it's
incredible.
as bad.
So
It is. I mean, the thing is that Vince McMahon and Hulk Hogan were writing the script for No Holds Barred in like a cocaine binge of some sort. So there's a very real possibility.
speaking of cocaine binges, Morris Day's performance in this movie, dude. Um,
Again, not good,
Not
but
good,
it's
but like
it's it's
it's
fascinating to watch. It's
yeah,
really interesting.
because he has actually got motivation, and I think Prince's character
Yes,
doesn't really give his motivation, which is weird because he's the main
I mean
character.
he
But we
should
know what,
have it, but
yeah, but we know what Morris Day
Prince
wants. He
can't
just wants to
act.
put a new
Like
girl group together. So that's all he wants.
fundamentally, the problem with Prince is that he can't emote, and I think that's why his movie career never really took off. Like he made other movies, but they were never like there is a sequel to this movie that was made a few years later, and it is apparently really terrible. I have never seen it. It also has the kid in it. It has Morris Day in the Time. But like the thing is that what makes this movie so special is the music, and I definitely want us to get there at some point. But like in terms of the acting, it's pretty dreadful. And I mean, Apollonia Catero was nominated for a Raspberry Award, which I have very conflicting feelings upon. This is her movie debut, and she's more of a model than an actor. I mean, I think she's fine. I don't know that I would necessarily have given her a golden raspberry or even nominated her for one. But I will say that if you go into this, like this is a movie that is bad, but I almost feel like you have to watch it because of how good the music is. Like that is where I come down on this movie because you literally have some of the worst acting and some of the worst storytelling that you could see in a movie, and interspliced with all of that is like banger after banger after banger. And the last 15 minutes of this movie are essentially a concert film, and it's like the equivalent of like a Marvel action scene because this is what you're building up to. This is what you want to see. You want to go to the fireworks factory and see the fireworks. This is the fireworks.
Okay, so I kind of felt like the movie should have ended with Purple Rain, but they went and did the other song,
I
which
mean,
is
the thing
fine.
is
They're all
that
they're all
Thing is
classics, but it
that
just felt like it crescendoed. But then they wanted
it is the crescendo, and like the
but in
next two songs are an
concerts, there's
epilogue.
always the what do you call it? The curtain call, not the curtain call, but like
The
uh
encore, the encore.
encore. So that was the encore essentially, right, for the audience. So that would
I would die for you is a really good song. Baby, I'm a
oh
star.
yeah, yeah. So let's
That song
just
is okay.
this whole album, like I think, is just so tremendous, and the fact that like it was written for the movie, but it was probably going to be his next album anyway, right? Because he's probably had these songs in the back pocket of his, and then the script came along and like, you want to make a movie, and then kind of did both. So what's so legendary about this is that this album has gone on to be like so influential, and in terms of like, music and pop and R&B, like all these different genres that Prince kind of covers. He may not like fully dip his toe into like a genre fully, but he'll kind of mingle genres together. And like that's what I think the magic of Prince is, because he brings all these different genres together, and he brings all these different cultures together with his music, man. And if you look at specifically like what I really noticed is like the concert people and like the diversity. Like, yes, there's like a lot of white people, and a lot of white people grabbed on and gravitated to this pop music, but like you still see minorities in the audience, right? And like minorities is like the supporting characters in the cast.
Yes, in
So
a big
it's
way.
it's so what I'm saying is like he's bringing all these different like cultures together, right? And it's really interesting because like they really don't bring up race as a factor in this movie. It's more
I mean,
so
it's the
just gender
1980s.
roles,
That's the 1980s. You almost never see that. I mean,
right?
the gender stuff is touched upon in probably some of the worst ways possible. And when you mention how great this album is, and you can think about whatever you want about Rolling Stone, I certainly would not necessarily take them as the most credible. But I mean, they ranked 500 albums. This was number 8. That should tell
Yeah,
you.
that it tells you a lot. And I've always been arguing for years, and I've kind of brought this up to Jerome the last couple of years since I've been listening to. I listen to a lot of top 40 KC top 40 radio from like the 80s, and I'm always discovering like hidden tracks and stuff like that. But what I'm noticing is like 84 specifically is probably the most influential year in like in all of music, one of the most influential, in terms of like transitioning from like the ending days of the disco sound into the new wave sound. Plus, you got the
Right.
rise of artists like
Well, I mean, you
Prince.
have to think about it this way, Brian. I mean, think about this. You have Prince in 1984. Obviously, you got Purple Rain. You've got Michael Jackson. But you've also, I mean, Eddie Murphy becomes a huge star at this point. This is the year Michael Jordan gets drafted. I mean, this is a monumental year. I think the Cosby Show starts this year. So in terms of like black culture, this is it. Like this is a monumental year.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, in just the music in general, like Madonna, I think this was like Madonna's big breakout year as well. I think Thriller was like popping this. Like I think Thriller came out in '83, but a majority of the sales were in '84 because like a lot of the singles came out in '84 on circulation. And then you got Bruce Springsteen, who was again another big, major, huge artist that still makes major money today, especially like in the New York area, like selling out the Garden constantly, kind of
So
guy.
you mentioned Madonna, like a Virgin came out in 1980.
Exactly. It's. I'm telling you, man. You look this up. Like I'm not crazy. Like there are so many articles about the year
You're not
1984.
crazy for this reason anymore. So
Yeah.
I'm now looking up Bruce Springsteen's discography to see what came out in 1984. I think I know one of the. I think I know what you're thinking about, but oh yeah, Born in the USA, of course. I knew
Yeah.
that, but
That's yeah.
I
That, I
wanted
mean,
to
I'm
confirm.
telling you. And then I'm a big Duran Duran fan, and I know like that's a kind of like not polarizing, but like you got to be like a really big pop guy. But goddamn, dude, they got a lot of bangers, and it culminates in 1989, I think, when they do that song for "View to a Kill." Not 89, 86 or 87 for "View to a Kill."
85. It's 85.
Yeah, yeah. So you know what I mean? Like Duran Duran's huge. Like a lot of bands are like popping that are like influential today, and it's like '84 was like that turning point, and Prince was like at the lead, like probably at the lead of it with like Madonna and Michael Jackson, but yeah, just this. I think Prince was the one that brought in the most in terms of like mixing the genres. I think Michael Jackson still was leaning towards the R&B, little hip hop, but Prince was like doing rock and like R&B, ballads, dirty ballads. Like I think "Darling Nikki" honestly is like my favorite Prince song, and it's not because of the lyrics, but it's because of the way it's produced and the way it sounds. It sounds like it's a dirty song, but it's
Mm-hmm.
such a rocking song. Like it's such a deep song. So like that's my favorite, I think. And it's not just because like I heard it on K Rock from the Foo Fighters cover back in the day when I first heard it, and then discovering it was a Prince song. But like, man, That's such a great song. It's definitely my favorite. I think it's so creative and unique.
Right.
Even more so than Purple Rain.
Absolutely. I mean, maybe I mean, it's Purple Rain. So I have to ask you this question. So you're a musician and you perform. You're a great performer. There's somebody coming after you. You taunt them a little bit. You basically tell them to follow that, and then they go out there and they perform the equivalent of Purple Rain. What are you doing with yourself after your retirement?
See, that's the thing. I brought up the Batista thing because that's exactly what happened to Batista, right? Like I've heard this story. You've heard this story where it's WrestleMania 23 in Detroit. He
Yeah, but
goes out there, does a
It's
banger
Shawn
with the
Michaels and John
Undertaker. He goes
Cena.
top that, and then they have a slightly better match. I would say it's slightly better than Batista and Taker. I think I don't know. I'm one of those people
I
that like.
mean, they're both really good. I mean, to me, it's one of those things. Like, I think of the story that Undertaker, that Bret Hart tells in his book, because I've been listening to it recently, where he and Steve Austin have their match at WrestleMania 13, and then Undertaker looks at Bret Hart and is like, "Well, we're not going to top that." And I would love to know, like, if this were real, like, what would happen to Morris Day after that taunt? Like, that's something that you are never going to that will net you'll never.
Well, unless you want to watch the sequel, that no one
No,
wants
no,
to
no,
watch.
no, no.
Well, you know what I mean?
I
Like,
don't
we'll
want to
see.
see
They
that.
don't even go to Morris Day after that performance. It's like it was so blow. It's such a blowaway performance. He doesn't even have a chance to respond, kind of thing. Which maybe
I
that
mean,
was
because
like,
here's the thing: it's like, okay, so the kid performs "Purple Rain," and then he performs "I Would Die for You," which is arguably another incredible song, and like, it's unbelievable. It's actually hilarious just how
in
much
terms
how many
of the
bangers are in this.
competition. Yeah,
The
I
bangers
know.
are plenty. I mean, Morris
And
Day.
look, I love that Morris Day song too. We love Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, and that kind of,
Yeah, I mean, Jungle Love is a
oh
great one.
we oh. I mean, yeah. But just sometimes it's like you got an A level player and then you got an A plus player. You know what I'm saying? Or in today's world, I guess they call it the S tier in terms of rankings, right? It goes beyond the A, and you got S
Purple
tier.
Rain is S tier. I mean, let's go
Yeah, for
pretty
sure.
might be S tier
Yeah,
too.
yeah. I mean, the whole
I
album
mean,
is pretty
again,
much
it's
S
just
tier.
there's so
Yeah,
many bangers, man. So many
yeah.
bangers. Like,
It's an incredible album. It's an incredible album. I mean, today's world is lucky to have it on, I guess, in radio because I guess for a while, or maybe it was streaming. Wasn't it streaming that Prince was when he was alive? He didn't want it on streaming for a
yeah,
while.
I know that that was
It
a
wasn't
huge
on
point of
Pandora when I
contention,
was
and
using Pandora.
you didn't really
Yeah,
have a lot of Prince songs, but
being used, but now it's being
I
used a
do
lot.
I will have a rant in a few minutes about this, but I want to mention
We got to do a
so
spoiler alert first before you do that. But yeah,
that's why I'm waiting. Morris Day and the Time, so they were announced as performing at the America 250 thing, and what I distinctly remember is like everybody dropped out, but Morris Day and the Time specifically were the first ones to drop out. And I remember being disappointed. Like some of the acts, I was like, whatever, but like Morris Day and the Time, like I was disappointed that they were going to be performing at that thing, but they will not be.
okay. Well, there you go. I'm just glad they're still around, man. Knock on wood, because again, Prince, again, 10 years ago. I mean, we kind of have to talk about his death a little bit. Like, I mean, from what to my understanding, he was in a lot of pain and he needed like a hip replacement, from my understanding. And then that the fact that he was a Jehovah's Witness, and I guess he didn't want to take painkillers. Is that my understanding? Is that
I
your
mean, he died of a fentanyl overdose, so clearly he was taking something. I
right?
just,
But I don't know.
it
Like,
feels like
there was
there's a lot of, it feels like there's
something
a
to
lot
the
of mystery
Jehovah's Witness
surrounding
thing
his
where he
death.
wasn't taking the normal things that we were probably taking for pain because of his Jehovah's Witness beliefs, or that's kind of like the story that went around.
It's incredibly unfortunate that he died at the age of 57. I mean, it just sucks, man. And I would highly recommend that you all go watch, find the Kevin Smith clip where he tells an incredible Prince story, which directly connects to the Jehovah's Witness thing. I mean, it's amazing. Just who he was, just a walking contradiction in so many ways. Because he is this incredible musician, but I mean, you see his attitude towards women is a mixed bag at best. Jehovah's Witnesses are not always the most accepting people, but he was also supportive of Black Lives Matter. I mean, he's a person with many layers, and I think he is just like Muhammad Ali in so many ways. Like he is an iconic figure, but he does have those complications, and in a lot of ways, I think this movie actually represents those contradictions really well.
I guess that's kind of the retrospective review of it. From what I'm like, I've kind of read some reviews about it. How earlier reviews when the movie came out didn't really acknowledge the misogyny because it was just kind of like not accepted, but like it was just kind of like
I
a
just don't think you would
I don't know,
notice
like
it
it wasn't
in
like really well
1984.
told. And now people see it as like it's kind of like a blurry line because of the fact that he is this complicated person and that he doesn't want to be like his father, like the lyrics say. Maybe I'm just like my father, right? Like that's the whole thing about it, about the this generational trauma that you mentioned. So it is there, but I feel like it's subtext that doesn't get context. Does that make sense? Am I making sense on that? Like,
I
there's a
think
lot of
so. I
subtext
mean,
in this
there's
movie that
so
doesn't
much.
get
I
touched
mean,
upon.
and the sad part is that I think we have so much great music, but there's so much mystery. Like that Kevin Smith thing is like one of the few real insights that we have, and Netflix, we're never going to see this 9 hour documentary. So Edelman, who directed OJ Made in America, which might be the greatest documentary ever made, he made a documentary about Prince, and it will never see the light of day because of the estate, and it absolutely sucks that we are never going to see that.
Unless we wait the 100 years or something it is for the, you know what I mean? Like there's usually like some family member down the line, a generation or two, that's gonna finally say okay or something. Like that's usually, you know what I mean? Like we'll see. I'm not like totally hopeless that we're never gonna see that footage or the Kevin Smith footage for that matter, that allegedly
I
was
mean,
locked up as well.
I don't know how I even feel about it being released. Honestly, I wish
I'm more
that
fascinated with the Kevin Smith stuff because I wonder what like Prince's mindset
I
on
do kind
was
of
kind of
want to.
fascinating.
If we're gonna see anything, I kind of hope it would be that. But like, if there's a lot of unreleased albums and stuff, I don't want that stuff to be released because Prince didn't want it released, so it could never be released. That's my attitude.
Well,
The
yeah,
Kevin
because
Smith thing
he
is
knows
kind of its own
quality.
entity.
He knows quality as well, and with
Yeah,
artists, people like
I would bet that there are like multiple albums on.
right, because we know it's with Tupac. Like Tupac recorded like so many songs because he felt like, well, this was the words of Tupac. He felt like he was going to die soon, and that's why he recorded so many songs when he did, and that's why he had such a back catalog. But a lot of artists always have this back catalog of songs unreleased because they always like make extra tracks for albums, and then just you got to pick the best tracks for the album, right? And Prince, I think, is a well enough artist to know that when his shit's good, he's going to release it. If it's not that good, it's probably shouldn't be released. So I think he knows well enough when he was, let's not release this stuff. It's probably going to be not as great. Let's put out the good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of my, but for some other artists, they'll be willing to just throw out the back catalog to make any kind of money. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever, any hidden
I mean,
tracks
there
are
are artists
really,
who do sell their back catalog, and it's I get
yeah.
it. Like, I mean, it's
You
money,
want to make
money
as
is
much
money.
money, yeah. But in this case, I think Prince was just so like into his music that it's like it's not worth it. You know what I mean? I don't want to waste people's time. And that's why maybe that's why this album's like banger after banger after banger. Maybe he just went through so many songs for like a
Had a very high
decade,
bar for himself. Yeah, it's
and
just
then he just knew
unfortunate.
like if this is gonna be my best album and I make a movie out of it, like I better pick the best fucking tracks. And those are probably his best tracks he's ever produced in this album. And I know it's arguable because people love his '90s stuff as well, but I just
I
this
mean, the
album,
amazing thing
yeah.
to me is that I mean, you look at the fact that he produced a soundtrack for the 1989 Batman movie, which is one of the biggest movies of all time up to that point. And I mean, the songs on that soundtrack are not as good as the songs on this soundtrack, but like in terms of B-side, there's some good ones on there, definitely. And I mean, his those songs get referenced all the time. I mean, the Lego Batman literally references the scene where the song is playing, and it's pretty amazing,
And that's
pretty
the new video
amazing.
game that just came out as well. Like literally came out like a couple weeks ago. My friend is obsessed with it. Like, and he's not even like a Lego guy. He just loves the concept because I guess he loves that '89 Batman so much. So it rubs.
By
I
the
guess
way,
it rubs the vibes with the right people.
I also want to point out that Siskel and Ebert both put this in their top 10 movies of 1984, which is ridiculous. But I mean, that shows that they were with it. I mean,
Well, especially Siskel, he loves the stuff that's so like un Hollywood and very un God, what's the term? He hates traditional scripts. From what like all the reviews I've seen,
Right.
he hates it when
He hates he hates like old
and he
shit.
loves it
And
when filmmakers break the rules. And he just, you know what I mean? I think he kind of favors some of those filmmakers too much when they break the
yes.
rules. And
Yeah,
that's what
and Ebert is a lover of the brothers and the sisters, as we know.
right. And he loves Spike Lee movies, so he's very
I
into
mean,
Spike Lee. Yeah.
his wife is Kaz, and Kaz is black. So I think that,
Yep.
and
So
he dated Oprah at
he's
one
in the
point,
brotherhood, I guess, if you
an honorary, or
an
perhaps.
honorary brother, man. But yeah, so that gives you some insight as to like the top tens of Siskel and Ebert, because like I watched a lot of those clips a while ago, and I was kind of shocked at some of the movies that Siskel like hated and loved.
I I would
So
not I would not put this in my top 10. I Again, the music in this movie is a 9 out of 10. The dialogue is like a 3 out of 10, and I come out on a 6 out of 10. But I do think that this is worth watching for the music alone. I mean, to see Prince literally perform Purple Rain on camera is something that alone is worth the price of admission.
yeah, and before your rant, I want to mention really quick Dusty Rhodes. Starcade 84, apparently he came out to Purple Rain, and I finally saw the footage, because Starcade 84 is one of those rare Starcades that doesn't really have a lot of original broadcast footage floating around. It's usually the Crockett footage or the WWE edited footage. But he comes out in this purple robe, man, and it's like, wow, you're setting yourself up for this big entrance, and then he books himself to lose. So that's a Dusty Rhodes ism for you. To kind of know Dusty Rhodes' mindset, give himself a big entrance, and then give himself some really controversial way to lose. That's Dusty Rhodes. So.
And I also want to point out that the fact that Prince Ikea was allowed to do a Prince impression is an abomination, and whoever
Dude,
came up with that idea, I hope is not working in
I think
wrestling.
it's either Jimmy Hart or Vince Russo, but a recent
I
YouTube
sincerely
video,
hope that neither.
a
I mean,
recent YouTube deep dive I did, I guess Jimmy Hart really loved ripping off actual songs. So
I mean, that's fine. Like, I don't necessarily mind that. I am very offended by the idea of one of the most uncharismatic human beings of all time basically doing Prince. It's gross to me. I didn't like it at the time.
oh my
It's even worse.
god, Prince IK is a whole different discussion, man. Because
It
that's
is because he literally got the TV title because Dwayne Johnson got the
won
Intercontinental
the
title,
Intercontinental title. Yeah, I know.
and it
And then,
was just
and not only
awful.
that, I did some research and I watched this. He faced Rey Mysterio at the next pay per view. What kind of weird booking is that to not get a babyface reaction when you're facing the biggest babyface in the company at the time? Ah, WCW, WCW. But go on with
WCW,
your
everyone.
Stranger Things. Go on. Oh, spoiler alert! I haven't seen the last episodes yet, but I'm willing to hear the spoiler because apparently
Oh
it's
my God, you haven't heard you are not spoiled about the final episode.
not yet, but it's fine. It's fine because like I did have access to Netflix, but then every time I try
How
to log
how
on, I get kicked off.
how how did this happen? How have you of all people not watched the final episodes?
Look, it's not like it's gonna disappear or something. I got the rest of my life to watch it, so it's
Oh my
fine. I
God.
take times with things. Star
All
Trek: The
right.
Next Generation. I'm still on season 5.
I am going to try to avoid giving a major the major spoilers. I'm going to try. I'm going to do my best. So one of the things that I had read about is that they had gotten like an Impossible song or something. Like the Duffers had gotten some Impossible song, and I was like, of course it's probably going to be Prince, and it's probably going to be Purple Rain. So like in the ending montage, Purple Rain gets played, and I'm like, well, this doesn't make sense with the movie at all, or it doesn't make sense with what is happening on the screen. Like to me, if they were going to use one of the songs, and they're not doing it because, of course, Purple Rain is the most obvious of the songs. But like, if you're going to do it, you should use "I Would Die for You." I'm not going to explain the context, but that's the song. That's the Prince song you use for the context of the scene and what is happening. And it angered me to no end that they just used the most obvious song. And I'm not hating on. I know a lot of people really despise the finale. I don't hate it nearly as much as other people do. But the way that, like, everything that's come after with what the Duffers have said, and kind of the documentary, and just some of the laziness that has come about, that actually bothers me much more than the creative direction that they went in. And look, I don't think that I would much rather not have Prince's music be used in such obvious and tropey ways. Like it's fine if like Prince's music should be in things like this or in Batman when he's given his permission, but Prince would never have wanted, I don't believe, his masterpiece to be just part of a finale of a streaming TV show. I do not believe that, especially given that there's no reason and there's like it's never really built up. It's not like the kids are always talking about Prince. Like if they had built up to it, I could almost justify it, but I could not justify
Okay, well, I'll have to see it myself. If this scene does involve raining at twilight hour, then it may fit because
it. So
that's
do you? I think I talked around it enough.
okay. Well,
Like you
spoil
know
me
it's
this.
coming, but
Spoil me this because I've been wanting to know this. Does Eddie come back?
who? No, absolutely
Oh
not.
man! Oh, dude, I thought that was my. Oh man! Now that spoiled me. Shit! I thought he came back. Fuck. Oh well.
Absolutely not. I mean, that
Oh
would
well.
be a
Back.
terrible decision.
Well, I thought he lived at the end. I thought he was going to turn into a vampire or something. But anyway,
He's too busy playing Human Torch, Johnny
I get
Storm.
you. I get you. I get you. But he was such a great character from that season. Whatever. Eddie's the man. He was the best selling pop out of all those pops for the record. I think he had the highest
It's
for the
certainly
record
possible. All right,
because
we've been all over the
yeah,
place.
yeah. Purple
Let's
Rain, 7 out of 10. Listen to the music, watch the footage. Don't really watch the movie, but man, if you want to zone in and zone out or something like that, and when you're
This is a
working on a
great movie to
project,
zone in and out of. Like whenever there's
yeah.
singing going on, pay attention. Whenever there's not, don't.
And
We
then
did
if
not.
you, yeah,
Can we just
go
talk
on.
about Apollonia and Prince? That scene when they're by. Is it a lake? Is it a river? And he like convinces her to basically strip down and then almost leaves her. I mean, boy, does
Well,
that scene not
I
age
think
well.
he's making fun of the fact that she doesn't understand context of conversations. Is that my
I mean,
understanding?
but why are
He
you
didn't
making?
say like jump in the fucking lake that's in front of you. He just said you got to bathe in the lake of whatever Minnetonka or whatever it is, which I think is in Minnesota, and they're in L.A. So it's like you know what I'm saying. Like I clearly picked up on the context of what he's trying to say, and I was like, why is she undressing? Like, does she think she wants him to jump? Like, you know what I mean? And then she jumped in. I was like, oh, well, clearly he convinced her in some weird reverse psychology way. Because it fucking worked. Because like I was thinking, like he's not telling you to jump in there. What the fuck are you doing? And then it's like vampire psychology, man. You know what I mean? Like just fucking mind control. So that's my interpretation.
All right, that's it. For us next week, we are going to be doing a tribute to one Alan Rickman, and we have chosen for that tribute Galaxy Quest, a movie that I had never seen up until I watched it for this very podcast. Can you believe it?
Are you serious? Oh my god! I'm sorry I spoiled it for you so many times. My god, I'm sorry. I did not know that,
I
but
mean, here's the thing: I pretty much have consumed the movie through osmosis, so it's not a huge deal.
that kind of happened to me with Fight Club. So I kind of know what you're
I mean,
saying.
here's the thing: like, I was not a Star Trek person, so I never really like saw any reason to really watch it. I'm also not a huge Tim Allen fan, but now that I've seen Star Trek, and I feel like I appreciate this movie much more than I would have if I had not. So that is all the more reason for us to talk about it next week, with our focus being on the great Alan Rickman. So for Brian, I'm Jerome. Thank you so much. We will talk to you again next week.